Yo, what's going on? This is the youngest in charge, Leon Slater, and you're listening to the Sports Jedi Network. You get me?
You're watching Jedi Sports Network with Kev.
I'm Tom Hannafin from TNA Wrestling. You're watching the Jedi Sports Network.
Tune in to Heel of the Ring podcast on the Sports Jedi Network channel. May the sports be with you.
What's up, Kevin? It's me, Miles Bourne. I just wanted to come on here real quick and say thank you for your support. I really appreciate it, and the fact that you're there every Tuesday really means a lot to me.
Hey guys, this is Elena Black, and you are watching Sports Jedi Network.
This is AJ Francis, and you're with Sports Jedi Network.
What is going on, Sports Jedi Nation? Welcome to the Padawan Awakening podcast here on the Sports Jedi Media, Sports Jedi Network channel, all across our different platforms, all our different destinations. NXT has come to a conclusion here on the 11th of August, and we got a lot to talk about, a lot to break in. We got a new debut of another member of the Bloodline finally arrived, where the whole internet trope for the last 3 years of wondering when this guy can come, and he came tonight on a Tuesday. But I am your host, BX Sports Jedi Kev, to navigate this show, to be the captain of the ship here on the Padawan Awakening, the one and only Dos Evil, Mr. Jeff Lippman. How are you?
Okay, what's going on, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we just got off of 2 hours of NXT, setting up for a Heatwave. Switch sides. Wow, that's like tag team action. I'll tell you what, they stuck the landing at the end of the show. They stuck the landing.
They did. And don't forget, we are sponsored here tonight by Dude Wipes. Stay fresh, stay match ready. Dude Wipes in the Sports Jedi Network, wiping out the competition. We have a promo code in our video link, so you can save 20% off all your Dude Wipe products and save with G Fuel Energy. G Fuel Energy, fuel your stream, fuel your life. Go to gfuelenergy.com, use promo code PGH20 and save 20% off all the different G Fuel products. And if you're not into the energy drinks and you want coffee, first thing early in the morning, your corporate morning Joe, Blackout Coffee, pro-American, wake up, stand up, never back down. Go to blackoutcoffee.com, use my promo code SportsJedi20 and save. I recommend the Morning Reaper or 1776 Roast. All those good products for American made here in my beautiful state of Florida, and they ship all across fast and good. So let's get right into it, Mr. Lippman. It's all yours.
Yeah, sometimes I'm wondering where my coffee is, and I feel a little bit like Lizzie Rain, wondering where's her tag team partner, Shawn Spears, because that's how we opened the show, with Lizzie Rain looking around for Shawn Spears, and she's met backstage by the Culling, who sort of laugh and giggle at her and say, "We told you he wasn't going to show. We told you he'd do this for you." And they walk to meet her into the ring, and well, Lizzie Rain's not one to back down. Like heavy metal, Lizzie Rain's never going to die. Gives me, even without Shawn Spears, I know everyone loves her. She gives me a little bit of a headache. This is definitely a generational thing, I'm sure. But she goes in. She's going to bravely face them 1 against 2, which is, odd in the mixed gender match. The man can't make contact with the man. You can't fight, with the woman. You have to fight this person of your same gender. So in tags, it can be a little awkward. And that was sort of the story of the match. For the first part was, will he, won't he? Every now and then he did get involved, but Lizzie Rain was undaunted. But it did seem like, the numbers were costing her at some point. And in comes EK Prosper, who was apparently backstage doing a photo shoot and decides to come and rescue her. And apparently ref's discretion allows someone to enter into a match, which is a new rule to me. I mean, a GM could do it. They have a guy there. I mean, I know he's working the phones. He's talking to Rey Mysterio. He's talking to possible free agents. He's wheeling and dealing. He's doing other things. But I was a little weird. I mean, they had to do something. I figured it would have to do something with Shawn Spears, that he was attacked or whatever. And, but no, we never saw Shawn Spears again. Or if we did, he was in disguise. I don't know. What do you think of the ref letting EK Prosper come on in?
first and foremost, I have exclusive, and I know exactly what happened to Sean Spears. I saw him in Sweet Tomatoes. He was having a lettuce. He was having a salad. Now and when it starts crashing down and it hurts inside. That's why I told him to use my Dude Wipes code.
Right.
He couldn't make it. He had the runs. He couldn't be there. So wonder what So a lot of fluids. Sean Spears, Pedialyte, all that good stuff. Imodium, all that. For hopefully you get back by next Tuesday. I don't know how they're gonna write it back into the storyline, but when I saw EK Prosper, first and foremost, WWE, at least WWE distinguishes what's a male versus male, female versus female. Take notes, WNBA. Take notes. And right into the match, EK Prosper comes out, and I wrote, question, where is Spears? And what the hell is going on now? They never showed anything where there's a friendship between Lizzie Rain and EK Prosper. No, they don't even. It's not like, hey, we're listening to the same. We're bopping to the same beat of the music because she's a punk rocker. He looks like he's listening to EDM or some hip hop or so. He's not. Then they look like they have no taste in the same music whatsoever. And okay, this is just because opening match. You're really gonna start the night because, and the match was fine back and forth, but I was already disconnected.
Yeah, I was disconnected too, and I mean, forget about all. I don't remember a time that EK Prosper and Lizzie Rain even met on TV before. So I mean, it's not like and maybe they have, but they didn't. Like you said, there weren't no seeds of that. There was some type of relationship where one would get the others back. Okay, he saw an unfairness. He's a face. Faces come to face. I mean, I don't want to overthink that part of it. It's just, I didn't know that was the ref's ability to. I mean, would it have been so hard for him to, be saying to Stone, "Look what's going on, Stone. Let me in the match," and Stone goes, "Ref, it's official," or something like that. I mean,
yeah. Well, the referee doesn't allow him in. The referee doesn't just wave his hand, and you see Robert Stone come out and quick second say, "No, I'm adding him to the match. Your partner's not here." And then at least throughout the thread was disconnected throughout the thread of the whole match. Looking back they never mentioned or at least the culling, you're Spears in here. They didn't even tease, taunt, anything. They just went about it, and I don't know, maybe it's a generational thing, but when the wrestler starts coming in and he starts flipping and flopping, I'm like, I want to start, brother, with a collar, elbow, toddler, hip drop, toe hold, drop down. I don't need the flip flop. I don't know. I got a little disconnected.
Sounds like you're doing your own hip hop song with the hip hop, the flip.
Yeah, they put it up. Yeah. No, hip tag down, drop toe hold. Give me that. Collar, elbow, tie up. Not this. Oh, he's gonna start flipping in. It's like I was like, oh, we starting with this just gymnastic nonsense already. It just, yeah.
As far as things that were good, at some point Izzy Dame hit like basically a flying crucible on Prosper, which of course she's the woman, he's the man, and that was actually really nice. And that led to Vance doing a flying headbutt.
That's called Friday night after you get paid. When when you come home and you give your wife wants the wallet.
Okay. Well, that looked painful to me. So,
ouch! Ask every married man.
Yeah. Luckily, I have direct deposit. In any way,
we all do, but still, that plastic.
So the headbutt only gets.
That's the ping of your. That's your ping of your bank statement. You just got to withdraw.
That's right. It's hacked again. Anyway, long and short of this match is that even though they've never worked in a tag team match before, that EK Prosper and Lizzie Rain did coordinated moves and sometimes the same moves in synchronicity, as if they've been practicing this all week, which I guess they probably have been. And it looked like that. It didn't feel natural at all. The culling loses again, which again, like I have no particular investment in the culling. When you kick out a member saying that they're the dead weight, and then all you do is lose after that, it's like, what was the point? It was like a story without a story. I mean, if it was an excuse to release Sean Spears, at least release him. I mean, but it makes no sense. And I like Nico's look. he should probably be a much thicker guy than he is for the look that he's got. But after the 2 or 3 years that I've seen him at this point, I think it's time to cut bait on him. He's got a good face for wrestling. I'm not sure about anything else, and he's not big enough to be a bodyguard. So, anyway, the culling, the
Hey,
schmalling.
there's a lot of nightclubs here in Orlando downtown. He'll find work.
I'm not worried about finding other work.
He makes a hell of a bouncer.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be a perfectly good bouncer. An indie wrestler, and maybe power slap. I don't know. I'm sure for all I know, he's an electrical engineer.
He's got a slappable face.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't want to slap his face. I'm not that comfortable even verbally slapping his face on the show, but I just don't see it. I see him sort of like treading water in the shallow end of the pool. I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on the culling and Nico Vance because the story really isn't him. I'm really not sure what the story was in this case. Period, except I guess that Lizzie Rain doesn't, back down from anything, and EK Prosper's a good dude, and I guess because of this tag team win, we're supposed to forget that he lost his last singles match on TV because, I don't know. We'll talk about the matchmaking a little bit.
I'll put a pin on my thought. I know exactly what was the outcome of this match, but I'll put a pin on it. I'll get back to that one on what benefited for EK Prosper, which he really originally wasn't him to be the one to be showcased or be elevated, but I'll tie in it a little later.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, after this match mercifully ends, after it is fairly slow, we see Tavion Heights and Miles Bourne in the locker room, and
another paper cut.
Yeah, was this supposed to be like immediately after they won last, a couple weeks ago in the locker room, or was this supposed to be tonight? Because it wasn't really very clear which it was. In any event, I got that part. So they're in the face locker room, and I'm not sure all the people in there are faces, but Elijah Holyfield's in there, who we haven't seen in NXT other than security. Jasper Troy's in there, who we haven't seen for weeks since he lost to
At least he's still alive, huh?
Yeah, I think he also lost EK Prosper. We see Tate Wilder. We see Super Sean Legacy, Romeo, and Noam Dar there. I think Lucian and Primo Bronco are in there. Come on, Primo. He's my team. Hank and Tank were suspiciously not there.
They're not there. They were eating hot dogs.
Yeah, they're doing something else.
I know they weren't eating a salad.
Anyway, so basically, I guess Tavion and Miles cut the face version of the Grayson Waller, promo on that, saying the NXT tag team division is underrated, and we see a bunch of dogs in here. We're going to be fighting champions, and we're going to take on anywhere, anytime, any place. And we see Dorian Van Duke talking to Legacy that they should do it. I don't know what Tate Wilder's doing there. He doesn't have a partner. I don't know what Elijah Holyfield's talking. He doesn't have a partner. Jasper Troy doesn't have a partner. OTM, it's not entirely clear. But anyway, they're going to fight everyone, just not now. They're going to go celebrate. Have a good night, y'all.
Oof. All I needed was some goofy Mason Brook to come out with a bottle of champagne looking like Andre the Giant when Hogan won his title. I mean, that was...
The only thing to say, as Tavion shows some fire, so he's showing that personality. So good that we want to see that personality. We want to see that fire go straight ahead. As for the dudes, I know we've been hard on the ladies in the locker room with their acting skills when they do that in the women's locker room. This was no better. So
no, this was not.
So
at least the women give you eye candy to look at. It's like, hey, what's going on here?
That's true. So anyway, we move off of this, and we're immediately taken to medical, where we see Kendall Gray is talking to what looks like a very certified medical technician, probably one of the great ear, nose, and throat doctors maybe in the world. Probably was flown in from Davos or something.
He went to Kaiser. He went to Kaiser University.
The Kaiser University, Ludwig Kaiser University.
Exactly.
Okay, you sure he didn't go to Chase University?
I mean, that I don't think they're accredited anymore. Academically accredited.
Well, he graduated just in time.
That's like saying you were a neurosurgeon in Russia or in your country.
It could be, yeah. Well, he's he's the most credentialed, the most accomplished graduate of Chase University's medical program.
But I heard that guy was his specialty was in proctologist, urologist. I don't know what he's checking Kendall Gray for.
Those are two entirely different things.
I'm just telling you, as a broadcast journalist, as a journalist, I'm telling you the facts that I know.
All right, well, scoops Kevin over here. All right, well, that's good. So you guys have heard it here first. Anyway, we learned that Kendall is not cleared, but it should be another week. And Ren's like, oh, that's great. Settle down. And Kendall's like, no, we got to go out there, which, again, I'm not really sure what the purpose of her going out there was if she wasn't cleared. And did she not understand what not being cleared meant and all that? This was the little things that NXT usually does well. They were very main rosterish in their lack of continuity tonight, at least in internal segments and logic. But we do see now, what's her name? Emily Agard?
Yes.
So she's Asgard. Back. Asgard? Like we're
no, Amy, no, she's from Asgard. Amy, you had it right, but she's from Asgard.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, now I know why she's been busy. Okay, she's been fighting frost giants and stuff. Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Last time she got stuck at the Rainbow Bridge.
Oh, the Bifrost. Oh, yeah. Don't get Bifrost bite. It's terrible. So Emily is talking to EK and Lizzie about what their plans are, what's going on for them, and before they say anything stupid, Callie Armstrong just takes the mic and walks away, and she makes her way to the ring, and she's like, I'm the difference maker. I'm not waiting my turn. I want my title shot. Kendall, you told me you're giving me a title shot. And we get interrupted, and I figured it was going to be Kendall. It wasn't. It was Kalani. Kalani comes in, and she's like, Callie, you're right. You haven't gotten your title shot, but you're not getting your title shot before me because I've been skipped over and over and over and over and over. This is the best looking version of Sami Zayn I've ever seen. That's for sure. But we do get.
I know Sami chases the hug. I'm going to hug her though.
Aw. Well, that's nice. That's sweet. Just for emotional support, right?
Just for emotional support. That's Melo's wife. I'll just give it the atta girl.
Okay, so the Melo that's money or the Melo that don't miss?
Well, he's not missing. Have you seen Kalani?
Yeah. Well, yeah. No. She's yeah. All that.
And Mela is money too. I mean, oof.
Oh yeah. You don't need to get me started on Carmella. Absolutely. So yeah. Kendall interrupts Kalani's whining, comes to the ring with Ren Sinclair. She has one of those contract binders in her hand, which really could be a portfolio for anything, but since it has the 3 letters NXT on it, we know it's a binder. And
the Waffle House menu.
Hey, we're ordering some delivery. What do you guys want? We're getting Chinese, but you can get sushi if you want to. Now, Kendall's like, cuts the chase. She goes, listen, I knew this is exactly what you were going to say, Kalani, and you know what? Here you go. Here's a contract with your name on. You pick the time and the place. And Kalani's like, okay, well, she signs, and Callie's like, oh, hell no. What is going on here? And Kalani's like, oh, hell yes. And she's like, and you see Kalani, you see like the wheels turning in her head. She's like, can I fight her tonight when she's hurt? She did say any time, any place. And her walking to the ring despite medical advice, you'd think that that's where it was leading, except Kalani recognizes that, in fact, she's not cleared. So shall she do it next week? Nah, she's not wasting her first title opportunity in front of these, those egg-sucking, yellow-bellied dogs that go to NXT. She's doing it in front of a real paying crowd at Heatwave. So,
that's right. All right. Make them pay. Make them pay for the goods.
That's right. Make them pay for it. Make them pay for it. Make them wait. I would have insisted that she do that night, anytime, any place. And, last week she, overruled the referee. Why not tonight too? But no, that didn't happen. So it breaks down into a little bit of a brawl. And you can probably see where this may or may not turn into a triple threat or some other match that involves Callie, as being the next number one contender, although that already seems to be agreed to. Now, listen, I am a gigantic Callie Armstrong fan, but I mean, I do believe the last time I saw, like, what singles matches has she won recently to put her into title contention?
Great point.
Yeah. Now I know. Yeah. In fact, the last match she was in was like a triple threat or a fatal four-way or a tag match, and she's the one who got pinned, which I think actually Kalani reminded us that she in fact pinned Callie Armstrong, which was a pretty good point as well. But these matches, they're just I mean, it's almost getting Tony Khan-ish in that I don't think it's about favorites. I think it's about getting everyone on TV, but you're just plucking people out of nowhere, putting them into title matches or at least opportunities for title matches with no real reason to back it up, no real reason to earn it. And this was the theme for the show. Actually, it's been a bit of a theme for a while, and NXT has been mostly avoiding that.
Yeah, they have done, and lately they have changed. It's changed, and I don't know, and it's not Robert Stone. It's more of a creative direction. They don't want to seem like they're repeating the same with newer talents, but kind of doing the same storyline. Where it becomes, could it be because they think it becomes predictable? Oh, well, this one and then that one, and we know this was going to run because we saw it with so talent before they went up to the main roster. We saw it before that in 2.0. We saw that before, after the 2.0 era. Maybe that's what they're trying to do, change a little bit of the formula, where they still want to get their male and female to get elevated or who they're going to push, but they want to do it different, which for us, maybe because it's something different or new, we're not connecting with it. But I wonder how the new viewer is connecting with all these different stipulations or moments, because Kelly Armstrong, it should, to be honest with you, the way they would have done it in the past, the champion would have said, well, either one for next week, either one of you two ladies win, I will defend my title against the number one contender match against whichever one of you won. The same thing that we saw at this main event. I thought they were going to go that route, but no, they left it where it's going to be Heatwave. It's just going to be Kalani versus, right now, for now, Kendall Gray for the NXT Women's title. So, and I wondered after, the classic beating up, can they coexist? It kind of felt like that was going to be left for next week, and we were waiting for that announcement.
Yeah, I was expecting that match to be the contract to be Callie versus Kalani, number one contender, faces being Heatwave as well.
That's what I thought. I would brought in a curveball there too.
Yeah. And it doesn't require that they get like 7 wins 7 weeks in a row. I mean, you could have 2 or 3 wins in a row, or you could have one particularly big win, one surprising win. Even if it's in a tag match where Callie got the pin on Kendall, that would be something. But
maybe maybe that might be in play, because we still got a couple weeks. We got like 3 weeks. We got 2 weeks and then to go home before it gets here.
Oh, it's definitely in play, but I mean, it's in play sort of after the die has been cast. I understand there's still more die to be cast, and there's still more people on the board to keep that, and then they can change the board at any time, as I think and we do see that, and that's one of the fun things about wrestling. But listen, I don't spend too much time trying to fool myself that wrestling is a real sport. But I do want the stories to have some sort of logic to them so that they make sense internally. I mean, if when the Avengers meet a new costumed, powered person, they don't immediately put them in the Avengers and say, hey, let's be best friends and join with us. I mean, or they don't immediately say, Avengers assemble, let's destroy this obvious threat. They get to know them, they talk, there's conversation, there's development, there's a story. And then either they become best friends or they fight and then become best friends. But whatever it is, we seem to be missing that. Anyway, what we don't miss is Cruz Montana in a backstage segment with Robert Stone, and basically Cruz just approves of Stone's handling of the situation, and I think he's got his #1 contenders match tonight, and so he's happy. But I think it's just more opportunity to make sure that everyone says Cruz Montana on TV, from Robert Stone to Cruz Montana himself to commentary to the people on Twitch, so that everybody stops calling him Mike Santana, because I think that everybody's still calling him Mike Santana.
Yeah, I don't think that name is really going over too well. But
I don't know. I'm going to give it a 2-month test.
But just like Mariah May, no one really calling her that no more. Everybody's got her Blake Monroe already.
Right.
So
True enough. See, that's what I say. I always give it a couple months, just to you get
Ricky
used to anything.
Saints, Ricky Starks, and Ricky Saints was another one that we could give you an example.
Who?
Ricky Saints and Ricky Starks. There's a wrestler. There was a Cajun wrestler from Louisiana, from the Bayou, that went under Ricky Starks. They changed him into Ricky Saints. You could Wikipedia him.
I think he's in AAA now.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or in the back of Cody's bus.
It could be. That might be a good place for him. Anyway, as they're talking, Keanu walks up from behind, and we see shades of old Keanu. He's like, Stone, what are you talking about? He's in a #1 contender. He just got here. What did you do to get this match? And then Stone's like, hey, chill, calm down. And Cruz Montana turns around and he says something like, what's good? And then Keanu, back to cool face, he's like, hey, good luck tonight. Thank you, Mr. Stone. And Stone's like, what's going on with you? What's up with you? Why aren't you a maniac and tearing shit up all over the place? Why are you acting so well behaved? And Keanu's just like, I'm just trying to figure out my way around this place. I'm the new kid here. I'm just trying to make my way. And Stone's like, all right.
You know what that was? That was called Big Bronx Boricua energy. Put you in your place. That's a typical day in the Bronx. That's the way it goes.
All right. Well, we saw it in action.
There you go. That's my guy right there. Let's go.
So a few minutes ago, you had mentioned creative doesn't want to repeat the same things over and over again.
Yeah.
And then they made a lie ready. Dark State.
Oh, God.
Dark State against Saquon. It's only Dion, but Dark State is flanking Dion. Saquon's got his bat with him. He's got that terrible, awful music, which is definitely heel music. This match, for people who have been working together now for the better part of 2 years and should have chemistry, I honest to God, listen, I was not interested in this match. Everyone knows that. Anyone who's been watching the show knows that they're like sucked into their own vortex with Dark State. But I felt like they were wrestling in slow motion. They didn't seem like they had any chemistry. Saquon was getting tripped up, not just by the outside guys, but tripping himself up, tripping up over the ropes. Like it's like he was made out of that those Bailey buddies. His things were flailing all over the place. This match was not good. I mean, at some point, Dark State, the ref was distracted enough that the Dark State attempted to put double team moves on Saquon, but they missed both moves. So I think they were supposed to, slam him hard into the commentary desk or do a double choke slam, which didn't happen. Then they were supposed to throw him roughly into the apron, and that didn't happen. And Saquon barely, rolled himself into the ring and tripped over the middle rope, but like somehow not the bottom rope with his, like the middle rope with his extra leg, which was sticking up. And he walked into Dion Lennox's finisher. So Dion Lennox picks up a win, and this fight, that nothing's been settled here.
My notes. I said I wish I had what Sean Spears had and been at the toilet to watch this crap. That's my note. That was garbage. That was trash. That was very. And I'm sorry, guys. I know that both Shaquan Sugars and Dion Lennox work hard in their crap. And I know they went out there and they wanted to put a televised match and they're trying to tell a story. where these two guys really hate each other. First and foremost, this should have been a freaking blow-off match. How many times they've been feuding now for a while. He's already the member that they removed from the group. I wish they would have blew it off and said, this is it. I hate to say this. They're gonna put it on the PLE, and I don't want it. I don't care what bells or whistles you're gonna give me. Steel cage. You could put a WWE or you could put a death match. I am not interested. I don't want to waste a Sunday, 3:00 afternoon on a summer, one of the few summer remaining weekends for that stupid match. Please don't give me that. I don't want it. I thought it was going to be over. I said, all right, he chokeslammed him through the thing. Lennox should win. Let's move on. Nope. But wait, there's more. I felt like I was in an infomercial of, oh my God, wait, there's more, because throughout the night, it just continues to go. And I was like, oh God, it's Peter Griffin and the chicken.
Yeah, this was no good. He's on the phone. He's talking to Rey. This is Rey Mysterio Jr. Well, now it's just Rey Mysterio. And they're talking about how they're going to how they're going to be more active with the NXT AAA partnership, because things are cooking between the main roster and AAA. So, let's get NXT involved. And Stone's like, well, Rey, I'm glad that you asked me about that, because I've been thinking about having a fatal four-way to have someone challenge Rey Fenix. It's no longer Phoenix, it's Fenix, for his AAA Latin American Cruiserweight, very small, nobody knows the name of the title. Right. So,
okay.
Rey is like, hey, that's what I'm talking about. You're cooking, Stone. And Stone's like, yeah. And do you have any suggestions? And Rey's like, yeah, I think we should definitely go with that EK Prosper kid, because I'm really liking what I see from him, and he'd be a great cruiserweight. Now, he is a great cruiserweight, so that makes sense. He fits in the cruiserweight. Who has Rey got in mind? La Parka, who I'm not sure he's a cruiserweight. He's thin, but he's like 6'4". So
here's the thing. Remember I told you I got to put a pin on the opening contest? Mm-hmm. Tonight, they featured EK Prosper because Rey said it. It goes, I just finished watching his match and how heroic. So they used that to catapult and made a plea for EK Prosper to be in this tournament. That's what that whole match for Lizzie Rain and the Culling against the Culling was all about. Was the EK Prosper, which was like, really? I mean, how bankrupt creatively are we now, TNA, NXT? Also, my next thing that I said, TNA. Where's the TNA involvement? Why can't we have one representative from TNA into this? This would have been a nice opportunity, even though he's not going to win, to showcase a Ricky Sosa. You put a Ricky Sosa in this. It would have been something smooth. Oh, damn, Ricky Sosa. No. We got La Puerca. What are we doing? Can we get Mini Vikingo? He looks like a cruiserweight. Can we get Mini Vikingo?
He looks like a child.
But still, you want to introduce him because he's young. He's going to be a future. He's not. These guys, we all know. It kind of seemed like the best matchup probably will be EK Prosper versus Phoenix. But let's have some fun. You would have had a Ricky Sosa, a Mini Vikingo. It would have been something there, but again, it's
well. They think La Parka is fun. They think that the skeletons, they'll sell masks, they'll sell merchandise.
Here's the one thing that bothers me about La Puerca. He's in the Roman Reigns tournament, so he gets the double dip. So that's telling me how limited, how small the AAA roster really is. You have Jack Cartwheel out there. He kept prospering Jack Cartwheel. No, actually, that was Cappuccino Jones. I keep mixing those two as a former tag team, but they still weren't part of the Evolve, and they were part of that LF. It would have been, but I digress.
Yeah, that is true. Though I mean, this is only for the Latin American title being defended on NXT. So I mean,
it's the cruiserweight. The Latin American title is a different title.
So it's the AAA cruiserweight title.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So and Rey says they trust Stone to populate the next two members of the match, which we do find out before the night is over. Then we cut back to Saquon, who's licking his wounds and he wants revenge. And like I said, it's like no one wants to see it. Understand why he's upset. and you're right. These going to demand like I don't know, like a last man standing in a steel cage match or something, or like Hell in the Cell or something, and nobody's going to care because nobody wants to see these two guys fight anymore.
No, I'm done with it. I unless if loser leaves the NXT, that's the only way you're gonna get me. The loser's gone. Loser leaves NXT. I mean that means, and I mean not showing up on Evolve, not showing up in LFG, not showing up on AAA, out of the WWE. I'm okay. That's the only way I'm gonna care about that match.
What about TNA?
No, well, that's not WWE. If he shows up, they show up there. I mean, well, oh well.
Yeah, this is how bad this thing is. I don't even want to see this final blow-off match, whatever the stipulation is, on TV. I don't want to see on PLE, but certainly I don't even want to see on TV. I don't want 20 minutes of my life wrapped up in this. And everyone had me believing that Saquon is like, you know, the best wrestler because he's got, you know, the indie background. I just don't. I just see just another little guy.
They're more. The more they wrestle each other, all four, the more I see the WWE have nothing for them, and the more and more neither one are going to make it. I had hopes that half of the group was going to make it, and I actually changed my tune to 3/4 of the group was going to make it. But now with this vortex that they keep repeating, and you're seeing the sloppy matches. Because here's another thing: they don't just wrestle on Tuesdays. They do that up and down the coconut circuit when they're going on the road on the weekends. They're wrestling each other. So they have a lot of in-ring chemistry. And for the level that they gave us for the television match they gave us tonight, they're not clicking. It's time to cut bait with either there's nothing for them. None of them are great on the microphone. None of them are exciting. They just got the height and size. But man, I don't see a future in Dark State. There is their future endeavors. The most they're going to be is show up to the main roster and I have nothing for you, and then we'll let you go. There's no future with them, neither for them.
There was a period in time where I was not looking to Dion Lennox matches, but he overperformed in all of them, and I'm just like, every time I'm not looking forward to a Dion Lennox match, and then like, but it's a great match, and it was on PLE after PLE, and then probably TV as well. But lately, it's just fell flat, and you know, again, if you're stuck with the same guys all the time, maybe that does it to you. I don't know. But for a while, I thought he was going to be the breakout guy. Then everyone told me Saquon was going to be. It doesn't feel like it.
Here's the thing, Mr. Limit. When we saw Lennox having his good matches, he was with some guys that were, you could say, the ring general of those matches that helped Lennox follow, or he followed the ring general, and they both brought great chemistry and they tangle. Now at the time that he has been in the ring, hours on the mat, where we just talk about the house shows and so forth. Now is his time to try to help elevate, not by taking the pin on his back, but I mean elevate in the match, the storytelling of the match and the psychology of the match to help elevate his partner or his opponent, and in this case, the Sugars, and neither one are hitting, so they're failing. One of them, so they're failing at it. So that's something, maybe that's what they wanted to see, to put on film on television and show them backstage when they do the training throughout maybe Wednesdays, or whenever they do their tape study. That's probably something they're going to show going forward. Look, this is what happened. That maybe that's where they're at in their career. So I don't know. I'm having a hard time that the leash is not that long for either members of the group. So it'll be interesting to see where they go there. Jeff will join me back in a second on there. So we'll see what happens with Dark State. To me, I think that there's a little bit of a disconnect there, where I think Lennox as a leader, or the ring general, the elder statesmen of the group, has not really given the elevation part, and maybe that's something that he needs to work on. That's why they're in the NXT in their performance, and it's still a developmental league, because for those reasons, to take out the negative or the constructive criticism that we're currently having as a fan. So when they get to the bigger level, they get television time and so forth, because you don't want a 17,000 seat arena sit on their hands and not cheer them. So might as well get it out in front of a couple hundreds or a couple thousand people in the performance center, so they could get coached and work things out. So I understand what's happening. It's not hitting for us. I don't know how long they have left in their room for either errors or development.
About 6 or 7 months ago, and probably during the entirety of Dark State, I listed Cutler James as the fourth of four. Right now, and maybe it's because I've seen him on Evolve over the last few months. He had 3 matches and he absolutely dominated. But right now, I the most potential I see is in Cutler James, which is crazy. And I don't necessarily mean as a star, but I don't rule it out. But I could see him and Julius Creed. I mean, they're basically the same height, bodies, similar background. I think they both went to Duke. I'm not sure about that part. In any event, enough about this. We move on to Zarya versus Ren Sinclair. Remember, Ren Sinclair won this shot at the title because she outlasted Zarya when Zarya was going for the speed title the week before. This match was just happening. It was a fine match, back and forth match. Ren is the feisty underdog. She never quits. She's sort of sneaky. She doesn't look like she's a submission wrestler, but she is a submission wrestler. All those years training with Charles in the NQCC, and now the leader of the Ren QCC. But during the course of this match, Dark State came out brawling with Saquon, and this was clumsy and bumsily, and they came into the match. They came out of the match. Cutler James, who I was just praising, came in with a chair. Ren Sinclair, for whatever reason, Cutler James decided to turn around and look at Ren Sinclair instead of continuing to chase Saquon, and she drop-kicked the chair into Cutler's face. So coming off that distraction, Zarya hit Ren Sinclair and then hit the F5 on her and got the win off the distraction, which, no offense to Ren, but Zarya shouldn't have needed this. And this is where Vic really made me upset, because he said, well, now this has got to end. This has got to finally end, because now it's impeding other matches, or they're interfering in other matches too. And just like, oh no. I mean, we already knew it was happening, but now it's like,
he made it official.
Yeah. And this is the worst part, is that now I am hoping that whatever this final match is, whatever the stipulation, whatever it has to be the main event of, that it is on TV and it's not a PLE match.
Yeah, especially when you only get 5 or 4 matches in a PLE. You can't give me one of those matches, Dion and Sugars. Please, I hope not, because I know we do the Padawan and we review NXT, but man, I will hate to watch 2 wrestling shows, and one of the matches that I got a dear is them on it. I know we said that a few minutes ago, but man. But here's the one thing I want to talk about: the ladies. To me, I enjoyed that match until the shenanigans. And here's the problem, though. That was at the 9 o'clock crossover hour. The Performance Center, the crowd has already been sitting in that building for 2 hours. Here's a sneak peek. You're in that building by 6:50, so close a little bit to 7. You're waiting around. Sometimes they give you some dark matches, or they'll record some. If they're doing LFG, they'll record some LFG live matches around 7:15, 7:45. They'll wrap it up 7 and all that stuff. They're sitting there. There is no concession stands. You're getting just room temperature water. And and then if you put a woman in a crossover, although you see women main event in NXT, but man, it felt like they were. And then the first hour, and I don't know what matches were on the that non-televised that I just finished mentioning. That hour they were bored. That was terrible That was terrible matches that we just talked about. The culling and all that, the Sugars and all. There was a lot of downtime. Their energy was not there for Zarya and Ren. I felt bad for the ladies. And they bought the interference. It felt like, again, like I said, Peter Griffin versus the Chicken all over the Performance Center. But I like the fact that they protected Ren with the distraction, although Zarya really didn't need it, because Zarya should be killing and destroying everyone in front of her. But I understand Ren is part of the main event scene as a Klingon right now with Kendall, and they want to keep her strong as a. But I didn't like what happens afterwards, because she wants a rematch, and they're gonna unify the titles. Why?
Yeah, why indeed? And is it going to be unified, that one is going to be gotten rid of, or is just one person is going to hold both titles?
That's my question.
Yeah, because only one of those things means unification. The other is just both belts are on the line. So
Should
if
be
this
title
is
for title. Do you think she misspoke? I don't think so.
I hope not, because I hope they get rid of the Speed Championship because it stinks, and I hope they get rid of the men's one because it stinks. And what's wrong with the cruiserweight title? I mean, and what's wrong with that one being across all brands? I mean, that's at least interesting. I mean, you got so many wrestlers that are under 225. Heck, 225 is a heavyweight in this era. You've got plenty of wrestlers that are under 195. You know, redefine cruiserweight and give all these people something to do. Anyway, we get our next progressive spotlight at Shiloh Hill again. He's telling us that his doctor's amazed. He's healed fast. All the air that was stuck in his face is gone. The swelling is going down the fastest his doctor's ever seen in 30 years. So cool. Meanwhile, Shiloh's been doing more research on mists. He's learned that there's all different kinds of mists with different properties and different effects. The unfortunate thing about this is that he keeps mentioning Naraku, which means Naraku is still on NXT, which I'm not interested in all. I'm not particularly interested in anything Shinsuke Nakamura was, but at least I had the hope that Shinsuke Nakamura was going to involve Naraku and the other rumored defections from New Japan to be that faction. But it seems like Naraku is heading Shiloh's way. Well, yes, I do. Anyway, but thank you for the question. So anyway, we're going to be getting Shiloh back a lot sooner than anybody was expecting, and frankly, it's a lot sooner than I was expecting because they announced him in a match next week. So, which is skipping ahead a little bit. Anyway, our next match is Mason Rook versus Cam Hendricks. So it's funny because I think last week we were talking about Mason Rook and you said he's 6 feet tall. I said, well, let's see when he's standing next to Cam Hendricks. Cam Hendricks is about 6'4", 6'5". He might be 6 feet tall if Cam Hendricks is 6'5", but if he's under 6'5", I would say Mason Rook is closer to 5'11"-ish because Cam Hendricks was a good half a head on top of him. We have our own run-in. We have our own EK Prosper coming in for the rescue.
He's coming in. Look at that. Look at that circle. Here we go. There he is.
There he is.
How we doing, guys?
All right, man.
Doing well. Everyone, folks, that's Hoss Knuckle Brew. For those of you who don't know it, Hoss Knuckle Brew from the Sports Jedi Weekly Recap Show.
How we doing, everyone?
Doing good. Doing well. Listen, you came in perfect time, man. Your guy. We were breaking down the big matchup, the irresistible force, the immovable object, Mason Rook versus Cam Hendricks.
I saw this match. It was fine. The match was fine. I'm still not a big fan of Mason Rook, but the match was fine. Him and Cam put on a good match.
Yeah, Cam is good. I mean, seeing the two of these guys next to each other, Cam looks like a television wrestler, and Mason looks like local indie talent. If that. He's got such a weird face. He has such a baby face.
I kind of want to see where their story goes now because I don't think it's over because of the way.
Yeah, we didn't really cover.
Yes, you're right. You hit that right on the head. He doesn't look intimidating at all. So that what gets me. Like he's this big-bodied individual, but he looks like he's 3 years old.
Yeah, he looks like a giant baby, and his gear is no good. His body's no good. Like find some way to flatter yourself. I mean, like Public Enemy never tried to show off their bodies. Kevin Owens does. I don't know. Whatever. The critical part of this match is that at some point, Cam Hendricks pulled off the turnbuckle pad and sort of, as Mason Rook was carrying him, and he carried him all the way to the other side of the ring, and Cam Hendricks sort of tossed it. So it went all the way past where the commentary desk was. And the ref, who I don't know where they got this ref from. I don't remember seeing him before in NXT. I'm sure I've seen him on indies. Like I have definitely seen him around. So I don't know if they called him in, like if he's.
No, he's been there. That's Chris. That's his name is Chris. Chris Stapleton.
I'm pretty sure Chris Stapleton is a country music star.
I think so.
Yeah, he sings Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah,
he's like the same person, right?
That was definitely not Chris Stapleton.
Well, to watch that match, you need to have some whiskey.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of country music talent, at least not currently, but I know that's definitely not the Chris Stapleton. I cannot rule out that they don't have two people with the same name, but usually WWE is pretty careful about not taking another famous person's name. In fact, as you pointed out, Austin Butler is sometimes Daryl Schwarmer. So some of them even have more than one name.
They got two. Yeah, they got two different freaking names. These clowns.
That's fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, obviously the exposed turnbuckle played a role in the match. Sometimes wrestling laws, if you're the one who exposed the turnbuckle, you're the one who pays for it, but not in this case, because the ref didn't see it, and apparently Mason Rook didn't see it until it was too late, and he was launched into it. And while he was there licking his wounds in the turnbuckle, Cam Hendricks hit the Showtime kick, also against the exposed metal turnbuckle. So he didn't even need to use his
name is Chris Sharp. Chris Sharp. My apologies.
Chris Sharp. Okay.
Sharp. Yeah.
All right.
Chip.
Well,
his nickname Chip.
Well, he got a little chippy, and he's only sharp when he looks forward because he's a predator. He has no, peripheral vision, which is, something that you look for in a referee, of course.
He's a little horse. He's a little horse.
Little horse. All right. Well, anyway, Cam Hendricks gets the win, with a little bit of a heel-ashery, but, a little help with nobody else paying attention. But, hey, nobody else was paying attention. So, solid win for Cam Hendricks, my man, future star, against Mason Rook, who was upset about it and looked very confused, or maybe he just wanted a bottle, or maybe it was just time for his nap, or maybe he dropped his blankie. I'm not sure.
He needed to be burped, Jeff. He needed to be burped.
I forgot that one. Yeah, I'm a little removed, but that's good.
And by the way, with those singlets, you might need some Desitin.
You might be a little chafed. Give him some powder.
Well, this seems like a cue for you to segue this into a sponsor of some sort.
I don't have we don't have a sponsor for chafing, but you can always stay clean and fresh with Dude Wipes. Dude Wipes in the Sports Jedi Network. We're wiping out the competition.
I think the Dude Wipes might help with chafing, at least relieve some of the heat that's involved, especially the menthol ones.
I don't know about that. All that friction that guy got between his thighs. Oof.
I'm not saying that it's the entire cure. I'm just saying it's part of the solution and part of your pain and irritation relief system.
That's true.
I think Dude Wipes has aloe vera. They might help out.
Yeah, you're right. They do. They got the poopsicle. They're nice and cooling situation.
I gotta say, I find the poopsicle thing a little bit disturbing, but but listen, I guess you got to change with the times, right?
You got to have a poopsicle with your dingleberries, Mr. Lippman.
See, there's so many things I need to do. You know what's also needed? Vanity Project needs to hire a lobbyist, because they're in Stone's office lobbying, and they're like, they want to run the match back. They're the best thing going. And Heartbreak Drake, he's going to get that North American title, and the Vanity Project, they are going to get their tag team titles back tonight. And Tavion Heights and Miles Bourne just conveniently walk in. They're like, well, I don't know about that. And they're like, but you said you were fighting champions. Well, we did say we were fighting champions. I don't know about that. So Robert Stone has another confusing idea with one of his backward-ass stipulations, which makes no sense, but he's doing it for 3 weeks in a row now. So I guess now it does make sense if you do nonsense consistently enough. I guess that is the new sense. Anyway, the match is thus. It's that Jackson Drake will face Shiloh Hill for the win. Now, originally I thought he was going to have to fight Miles Bourne in an eliminator match, but no. He's going to face Shiloh Hill, who they don't tell us until the end of the segment that's who he's facing. So I was sort of confused on this for him. So if Jackson Drake wins, he gets a shot at Miles Bourne's North American Championship at Heatwave. And the Vanity Project get a rematch against Bourne and Heights at Heatwave. If Jackson Drake does not win, Vanity Project gets nothing. And Bourne and Heights pick up on that. Well, really, Bourne. So you mean I'm going to have to wrestle twice on Heatwave and defend 2 titles on Heatwave? Robertson's like, well, only if Jackson Drake wins. And they're like, you said you're fighting. And Tavion is sort of egging on Miles. He's like, yeah, it's tough, but we're fighting champions. We said we're fighting, brother. You got it, brother. So there we go. And then Miles Bourne finally, or no, Jackson Drake finally goes, well, who am I fighting? And so he understood that it wasn't Miles Bourne. I didn't in the audience. And I saw Kevin shaking his head, and I think Haas was nodding in agreement. So none of us were clear on that. But it's, as I mentioned, Shiloh Hill, who did tell us he was coming back sooner than expected, but not next week sooner than expected. It also put your air quotes last week into doubt, Kevin. We should splice those air quotes and put them and then put the neuralizer up there.
Yeah, I have that's on the MLW files. That's on Mondays.
Okay, the air quotes for Shiloh Hill's injury has been
yes.
It's been edited out. It's gone forever. Okay.
Yeah, it's gone forever. Yeah, he's not injured anymore.
Kayfabe is alive and well, fellas.
The fog. He has no longer a fog. He got confused with Sean Spears' fog or the yellow mist.
Right. He actually specified it wasn't that kind of fog or whatever, some other kind of fog. But Michael Lockwood said something funny, like something like rude or that was uncalled for or something. But it was sort of like lost in the rumbles and tremors.
She spoke? I didn't even thought she spoke. I'll be honest with you.
She said something quippy at the end, and I was, of course, expecting them to walk into the hall and her walk right into Keanu Reeves and Keanu Carver. Keanu Reeves would be
he's in the Matrix.
Yeah, right. Right. So he could be anywhere. He could just fly on in.
Although, maybe you don't want to get him. You don't want to piss off his dog, though.
Well, you don't want to kill him.
No, you do not.
No.
Yeah. But no, we got no Micah and Keanu. Like, do they love each other? Do they not? Yeah, are they? Aren't they? I don't know. Make a move. Let's see. None of that. So my favorite, storyline D, just not even addressed at all. And
bro, that promo in the back, it felt like I was watching. I don't know. It felt weird. It felt like if you ever watch one of those cheap pornos, because here comes in Travion Heights and Miles Bourne out of nowhere. Did you order a pizza? I'm just waiting for them. Like, it was so terrible. We talk about the acting. Did you order a pizza? I'm like, they come out of nowhere. Like, we'll defend the title. And here's another thing that got me crazy. If they do go that route, we already got like 5 matches. The whole card of Heatwave is already spilled out. It's going to be the women's NXT title, the men's NXT title. That's 2 matches. 4 if Miles has to wrestle twice, and then we're gonna get a stupid Dion Lennox and Sugars 5. That's the card right there. They're not gonna. It's like, what? I hope not. Not. That's a.
Well, if Shiloh wins, 2 of those matches are off the board.
I mean, if Shiloh wins, he's coming back off of injury.
So Shiloh, we believe in you, buddy. We believe in you. We believe in you. All right. I keep doing that. That's my segue. So we see in the back OTM, or are they still OTM? Because Bronco's like, yeah, let's go out there. Let's. I'm going to accompany you to the ring for your match against Birthright. And Lucian's like, no, I got this. Plan B. Remember? So Lucian out alone. Birthright comes out. But before that, we see Stoney's on the telephone with someone. The inference to me is that this is the free agent who was alluding to last week that they hadn't mentioned yet. And he basically says, I haven't made up my mind. So, I mean, it could have been his conversation with Ray about the match. It could have been about a stipulation for Dion and Saquon. It could have been anything. But I'm just going to assume that it had to do with the free agent and let it lie. But this is when Ren comes in and she proposes unification of Heatwave because Robert Stone is not committed.
Oh, Jeff Lippman just stepped out of bounds. Yeah, so he was talking about that when Robert Stone on the radio on the telephone. He says, "Hey, look, that offer's still there. I know you're not committed. I think there's another free agent because tonight I think there's going to be someone else coming into the NXT fold. I think we got someone else that he has in mind. I don't think that was the free agent that he had in mind. I think there's another one coming. I think the NXT is gonna bring some more people before Ren interrupted."
I don't know. I don't know why the system keeps kicking me out, but hopefully it won't any longer. Anyway, so Stone didn't want to see himself to a Ren rematch for whatever reasons, but she says, "Well, let me tempt your tummy with the taste of nuts and honey. How about if I put my belt on the line and it's a unification match?" But we already talked about that, and we learned that there's also a tag team match where it's going to be Kendall and Ren facing Callie and Kalani, which we mentioned earlier, and then Kevin, you already said what you think is probably going to happen with that one, or at least what we should be looking for to happen. Can they coexist? Maybe on both sides, but probably more on the challenger side. I think we're all expecting this to lead to a triple threat at Heatwave.
Yes.
Okay, me too. Then for more bad acting in the women's locker room this time, but it's strangely empty. It's just Thea Hale and Jada Parker talking, two women that have absolutely no chemistry with each other whatsoever. And Jada Parker, who has like aura and cool to spare, apparently doesn't have it to spare because whatever it is that hypes up Thea Hale sucked it all out of her and turned her into like this boring girl.
No,
I don't. Yeah, no yeet. There's no yeet at all. But I sort of did skip the match with OTM
They
versus
They didn't want to
run it back. Yeah,
no,
we have to run it back.
No, they ran it back enough Monday.
Listen, I know Lexus King is on our introduction. I know he promotes the Heel of the Ring podcast, which is very nice of him to do that. When did he get so skinny? Because
he did lose a lot of weight.
Yeah, because he's looking a little bit Jenny Ortega, like Ariana Grande-ish a little bit. And I am sorry, but these losers are so negative aura that not only don't I want to talk to them, I'm pretty sure that Dixie Carter accompanied them to the ring tonight. That was no longer Ariana Grace. It's now Dixie Carter. She's been demoted to a middle-aged, not even quite a cougar.
But did you see Lexus King's movesets? He was moving like his dad, though. There was a couple spots, and I swear to you, I saw that. I was sitting in my, I said, "My God, he just did a moveset that was just like his dad, like boom, boom, boom." I was like, "Wow." I hope that they're gonna unleash him, and he's gonna be Brian Pillman Jr. And I hope he starts wrestling like his father. His father was one of my favorites when him and Stone Cold Steve Austin matches in the WCW NWA days for that TV title, and Dustin Rhodes and so and so. I am a big Brian Pillman Senior fan, so I'm hope for Pillman going forward. But damn, he's been there for he's kind of reminds me of becoming a super senior. You got to start graduating, pal.
Yeah, but we got to talk about it. Did we all see Lucian chopped him straight to hell during this match?
He bled him. He cut him open with that chop.
Yeah,
fingernail must have caught him across the chest.
Something. Yeah, or he popped his zit or something. I don't know, but yeah, he was bleeding on the chest, and that's why I didn't really notice much of anything Lexus King, because first of all, he does is just flail his body around and sometimes get kicks up, which is fine. He works well as a heel. He's just so skinny, and Lucian is so big. It looked like a child against a man, and basically Lucian overcame Birthright with Dixie Carter, and he won the match clean against Lexus King. So that's great. And apparently the match has been set for Lucian Price to face Lexus King next week for the speed title. So let's see if he can do it again and do it in under 5 minutes or 7 minutes, however long the title matches have to be. And what Birthright has to do about it, and if Charles Dempsey will stop wearing Fred Perry. I don't know. And if Ariana Grande or Ariana Grace can start getting some of her fantasticness back, I have a cheat code for her.
Oh.
Dump Stacks Lorenzo. Dump him. He's killing you. He's stealing your soul. You think he's like a vampire, and get rid of the other ones too, especially Uriah Connors. He looks like a waiter that thinks he works in a nice restaurant, but no actual restaurant would allow someone to have that haircut or that mustache. So he's just like Olive Garden and wearing his like racist outfit. So
no,
anyway.
he looked like he works in Romano's Macaroni Grill. It's it's still fast food, Italian food, but people still think that they feel like that's a high end Italian restaurant, which is not.
All right, listen, we're putting a lot of slander on some perfectly fine locations where all you can eat like breadsticks and salads. I understand all that. I probably went too far, but yeah, Lucian beat all the zeros. We have Thea. She really wants to taste the Natty now. She wants to take on Natty, and Jada's like, "No, you don't know. Natty's not as easy as she looks," which was my favorite line of the night. I've seen some segments on Total Divas with her and her sister where it looks like she's plenty easy for her sister, which is
have you seen that? Have you seen a little fat kid that groped her when she was coming down the aisle? I mean,
nope, I did not. I didn't.
Have you seen Natty modeling her Calvin Kleins?
I saw her say nothing gets between me and my Calvins, which is a throwback to like Brooke Shields commercial from like 1984. I don't know how many people got that, but I mean, one of the things, I don't think that like Natty's supposed to come off as easy to beat in wrestling. She's supposed to come off as tough to beat. And Jada's like, I don't want anything to happen to you, Thea, because like now we're friends and I care about you. And Thea's like, well, now that you put it that way, I really need to do it because I need to prove it to myself. And Jada's like, well, you convinced me. So yes, now I want you to have that match too. And Thea's like, you're going to come with me, aren't you? And Jada's like, yeah, I got you. So I don't know. This was, middle school Glee Club stuff. Okay. Thea has a friend. That's never.
I don't. It's just something about. It's something about Jada Parker. Her and Callie Armstrong only to be on the same show. Am I the only one that's feeling that?
I see why you say that. And they come back. They come out with the same kind of attitude, or they move different. But I think like they would be if this was men's wrestling, they'd be attacking.
Yes.
Because WWE barely does tag teams and certainly doesn't do women's tag teams, then that's not to be, at least not anytime soon. But yeah, I think also Jada as a face, like nurturing, like bigger sister face, like the kick-ass badass face. I could see sure, Thea, I'll be your new friend, even though everyone else that's ever been your friend has abandoned you or turned on you, and and you're really small, and your hair is confusing, and you jump around too much. But all right, I don't know. It's just I'm pairing these together. I mean, I see another vortex. I always think when people are being put with Natty, it's to see if they should be elevated to the main roster, get some main event matches, maybe be in the Royal Rumble. So that means Nikita and Carmen are going to be in tag teams against Jada and Thea at some point, and probably have to eat L's to a team that has no future together, as opposed to a team that looks great together. I don't know. I'm not understanding a bunch of things, because they don't flow with, wrestling law 101 anymore.
Well, it's developmental, so they're trying something. They're trying something with Nikita and Carmen, or with Thea and Jada. So I don't know what it is. I'm more as confused as anyone.
Yeah.
Well, we see our friends Noam Dar and Romeo. They're talking in their usual place, like on the kitchen counter, and Romeo lets slip that Robert Stone offered him one of the slots in the Fatal 4-Way for the
Cruiserweight,
Triple-A Cruiserweight title, not Latin American, nothing to do with Latin. But he passed because they're a tag team, and Noam's like, that's dumb. You don't let opportunities like that slip. We're still a team, but that doesn't mean I get in your way. So Romeo Moreno will be in that match. Now, he makes sense in a cruiserweight match. He does, and him and Ike.
I can see that.
That could be a lot of fun. Laparca, although a luchador, is more of a ground wrestler, even though he's so tall. And it's interesting. I'll just ask the same question. Has Romeo Moreno won any singles matches or more than one, or any that we can remember that logically, kayfabe-wise, we can see why he would be plucked for a title opportunity? Or is it because it's a fatal four-way for an opportunity for a tertiary title on a secondary or tertiary brand, it's okay?
Oh, you just hit it on the head. He's going to eat the pin.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know if he is or if he isn't, because we find out that the fourth guy is Tristan Angels. And while Tristan Angels does a lot of talking and looks good and pointed out that he never thought of himself as a cruiserweight, but with his tight waist, he'll take care of it. But Tristan Angels is a guy who eats a lot of pins and doesn't need to be protected. So I don't know. We'll see. Not who I was expecting to be in a cruiserweight fatal four-way. I'm not mad about it, but two guys with more of a ground game and two guys with more of a sky game. So should be interesting. Three of them will work together at least a little bit in Evolve and LFG. Don't know about Laparca, but I don't know. Your thoughts on Noam telling Romeo, don't piss into the wind, dude. Take your shots.
That's just a veteran giving a friend advice. I like it, because if they want to tell a story where eventually one is going to turn on the other, that's there. The seed is planted a little bit, maybe. I think Tristan Angel is going to be the one that's going to go up against Ray Phoenix for that cruiserweight title, and it's going to be a hell of a match. And that's going to be a hell of a match.
I got EK Prosper. They're
two baby faces, but there's two baby faces. Like I don't know. I think the Tristan Angels versus Ray Phoenix would be really, because of the you got someone really to cheer and boo you, and I think people will get it, because even when Phoenix, and I think that's going to be in Texas and Heatwave in the Spanish version. I think that's going to be their match. Or did they say where that title match is going to take place? No. So wherever it takes place, it's going to be Tristan. I think it'll be Tristan, because even if United States, if you see Ray Phoenix, they're going to cheer him, and I think they're going to want someone to get really, really booed out of the building, and I think that'll be Tristan Angels.
You make sense. I thought it was going to be just for the grabs. They just want to see guys fly around. That's
the dream matchup. But I think for me, I think they're going to give us Tristan Angels.
No, I'm with Haas. I think this is going to be a fly around match. Now, is it EK Prosper? Is it Romeo? I don't know, but whatever.
Romeo makes sense too, because he's Latin. If he could cut. Let's say they have to do this in Mexico, he could cut a promo. Romeo, and then he'll get booed too, because I don't think the Mexicans really care too much for the Spaniards. So
Now, I could be completely wrong, but I thought that this match was for the title was supposed to take place on NXT TV in 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. So that's why Tristan makes better sense, because they're going to get excited more in the Performance Center just to see a Phoenix. The Performance Center fans get excited when someone from the main roster anywhere comes, even it could be, and they go crazy because, oh my God, we got someone here. That's the same people we see every week.
You're all ruling out Laparca, huh? They wouldn't like
he has no chance. He's going to lose in the main tournament against Roman for Roman's opportunity, and he's going to lose here.
Okay, all right. I'm not ruling out Laparca. The only one I'm ruling out is Tristan Angels. So we'll see. Main event time. Cruz Montana coming to the ring. We learned Tony D'Angelo is going to join commentary.
He was very charismatic too, by the way. Holy shit!
Oh my God! Yeah, talk about a dead dog.
Hey Tony, you want a podcast here? We could put you on, man. We'll get us some great ratings. We'll put your teaming up.
Grayson Waller comes out. Doom, 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 doom. Little shucking and jiving, little head weaving, little bobbing. He's shit talking the entire way to the ring.
Just the Aussie icon, Mr. Lippman. The Aussie icon.
I was not aware. I did not know that at all. I thought that was someone else like Crocodile Dundee or someone.
I wanted some French onion soup.
I wanted to call a platypus, honestly.
Well, this was actually a pretty good match. These two worked.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as matches on the card, this was the best match of the night. And, it was pretty 50-50. They both looked good. They worked well together. Grayson was showing a little bit of frustration, but, he always does. I guess he thought he was going to just come down there and walk over everybody because they're all soft. This TNA curveball coming his way. In any event, Tony D didn't really do much from commentary. He, at one point when they spilled out onto the commentary desk, they pointed that Tony D didn't even flinch, and he didn't respond. So they're like, "Is your headpiece not working?" He's like, "Oh, I heard you. I just have to focus on this match." It's like, wow.
Get him off. Get him out of there. Get him out of there. Get him out of there.
I'm a Tony D guy, but the sky is not everybody's limit. Sometimes the building they're in is their limit, and that might be the case. So,
May be if he hits the main roster, it might be time to make him a Paul Heyman guy.
I mean, everyone says Paul Heyman guy like that works miracles. Didn't do anything for Cesaro. Didn't do anything for Austin Theory either time.
You're right. You're right. I'm just trying to throw something for Tony D because he's not gonna make it by himself. I gotta give him something.
Didn't even really help Seth. Frankly, it didn't even help Braun. I mean, it was good with Roman, but I think Brock made Paul. I don't think Paul made Brock. So,
you are correct. I mean, the Brock guy. I mean, the Paul guys were physical specimens other than CM Punk.
Yeah, for sure. So this match goes on, and it's pretty good. And somebody comes out of the crowd, comes in. It's Zilla Fatu. He beating up everyone. He's hitting Samoan drops on everyone. He's doing splashes. He's doing whatever he wants. He's faces, heels. It doesn't matter. And he yells to Tony D. He's like, "I need this. I need that," pointing to the match. So the gentleman or lady who put a comment, "Do we think Zilla Fatu is going after the NXT Championship?" And I said I did. I believe that because he told me he was. And I believe the man. No mention of the bloodline. Good. No face paint. But this crowd knew who he was. That's great. I think NXT is absolutely the right move for him, both developmentally and to get him used to this style of TV wrestling, and to get at least a fourth of the people who watch main roster and NXT to also know he is. So when he comes up, it's so they know to be excited. Otherwise, I mean, he's just another under 5'11", 250, 260 pounds Samoan. But this was really cool. I think this over the last few weeks they added some depth to the men's division. They showed some other people can go, like Cam Hendricks, Lucien Price, maybe as a solo. So some things are moving, and I think Zilla, is a shot in the arm, and we'll get some eyes on the product, if for curiosity's sake, nothing else. So while most of the show I thought was for NXT was sort of dog shitty, and it felt like they were just plucking things out of here and putting them into there and trying to pretend that something made sense, they stuck the landing. So all I'm going to remember about this episode is the end, and the end was great.
All right.
And the biggest thing coming out of this, Mr. Lebman, was they kept his name. They actually said it. He did not come out there. They're like, "Oh, who is this? It's a new guy." They said Zilla Fatu. So it's a lot of power in that Samoan dynasty. He gets to keep his name.
Yeah. Well, I know that Kevin is very upset that Zilla got to keep his name, but Santana did not. And I don't think that's about Zilla being able to keep his name. I think it's more about Santana not being able to. But let's hear let's hear the rant.
Here it is. This guy comes out. By the way, he needs to go to Performance Center, because that fucking match that he had at the House of Glory was the piece of shit that he had there with Amazing Red. That was garbage. Now, what does that mean about fucking Mike Santana now? He just signed with the company, your biggest star, and oh, we gotta bring Ziggler in. Oh, you see everybody in the fucking performance center waiting wetting their fucking trousers because he got falling in Ziggler too. Couldn't you wait and have him debut at Heatwave and destroy the match where if Mike ain't gonna win the #1 contender or even Grayson, Ziggler comes out, but you did it on a Tuesday, 2 weeks before Mike Santana leaves and joins the WWE, and then he has his first match, and now he's put to the back already. You took the two-time NXT, the two-time TNA World Champion, and pushed him to the back because now you got the new Zilla for 2 shining toy. Mike is dead on arrival right now. His WWE career, one match, I think his shit is shot, and I love Mike Santana. I feel so bad, and the shit is he couldn't even keep his name. He couldn't keep his name, but you got Sela to keep his name. Sean Spears could keep his name. Yeah, no. Granted, Lexus King changed his name to Brian Pillman Jr. I get it. What's the picking and choosing with these names? If they're so and so, let them be their name. Now, I feel like they totally foolbarred Mike Santana already. They foolbarred my guy. My guy is dead on arrival. I can't see him. And I can't see him getting elevated anymore. I don't know if he's going to win the NXT. And if he wins the NXT title, I feel like he's got pushed to the back. He's not the new shining toy anymore. He's not the great hype. It's nothing that doesn't make sense. So what beef does Sela Fatu have with Grayson Waller or Cruz Montana? Other than he just wants the title. I guess they're in their way from Tony D'Angelo to win the title. So let me ask this for the hypocrites. You're sick and tired of the bloodline storyline. That's what we heard about. We heard JD from fucking New York complain about it. We hear Silent Monster complain about it. We hear all these talking about the storyline of the bloodline is tired and you're sicking. But meanwhile, they're out there on their knees. Oh, Sela. No. If you don't like one side of the bloodline, you're not going to like this side of the bloodline. I'm happy that Sela finally shows up to the WWE. But my point is the timing of him coming in. You can't even let Mike Santana get a month into the company well worked out. What does that tell you? That's my concern, because the writing, the creative, the match placement, they're all dog shit. And now you brought in another wrestler in to push another wrestler back. Why did you waste this guy's time? He was the king of TNA. You should have left him there then. If you really didn't want to push him, if you really had aspirations of bringing in Zilla Fatu, then I'm so pissed off right now with it. That's the way I'm feeling.
And Trevor, it's not even just Cruz. It's the rest of the NXT roster. The guys from the ID program are getting buried right now. Grayson Waller came in and talked about him. You got Cruz Montana coming in. Now you got Zilla Fatu coming in. All these guys have jumped the line. So what Grayson Waller said has come to light. Like they said you were soft. They said you guys were soft. Here come 2 new guys to push it. So yeah, it's rough for NXT right now.
I don't know. I like when they put new people in the mix. I think it's interesting. I like Santana Montana, but like I don't think he's like the cat's meow. I think that his reign on TNA, it exposed him as being relatively generic. He is more authentic than Damian Priest when he speaks, that's for sure. But it's not like he cuts a whole lot of great promos. He does a good match, but I've never seen him like where it's like scintillating, where it's like must-see TV. I think he's a perfectly good ensemble player, and I don't think that this buries him. We have a fatal 4-way, probably coming for Heatwave or whatever it is, and it's probably Grayson Waller who's going to eat the pin. I mean, if anything, this is to protect Tony D, who's it's probably time to be elevated and either rise or sink up there. But I don't know. I'm not really too worried about Cruz. I mean, I'd be more worried if I was, like Haas said, one of these lower card guys. If I was like a Braxton Cole or a Harley Riggins, who's not even there yet, or Harlem Lewis, who's in Evolve, Brooks Jensen, who's been around for 6 years now and is back in Evolve. I'd be more worried if Sean Legacy. Why aren't I in that, in that cruiserweight fatal 4-way? That should be me. So I don't know. Hopefully they're going to have like a Secret Wars thing where everybody hates each other and everyone's fighting everyone at some point until sides can be picked. But I don't feel really strongly. Now, I can't explain. I mean, I know why WWE wants to own names, and I think it's different for different people. I think for Sean Spears, they simply didn't care. I don't think they thought they were going to sell any Sean Spears merchandise. I don't think they really thought they were going to make a Sean Spears action figure. I don't think that they really thought putting Sean Spears in the video game is going to matter. I think with Zilla Fatu, that I'm not sure that this will remain his name because we've seen that happen before, but the Fatu name is known in WWE and wrestling, so it has value. And if Zilla Fatu signed the trademark rights over to them, then that's what they do. I mean, I only know of 2 people who want to keep their own name, who kept their own names, and neither one of them played ball with the trademark, and their names are Keith Lee and EC3. Now, with Santana, I just think he's so happy to be there, and I think that they do think he's marketable, but I think they want to own whatever's marketable. And maybe he's like, I'm betting on myself, but I'm not giving you myself. So you can own Cruz Montana. I'm going to give you my all. Let's make me a star. But, if not, I want to go back out there and be Mike Santana again, and everyone's going to know me, and I'm going to sell my merch again. So it might have been, his choice as much as theirs. They're always happy to change a name and create their own. Everyone always goes crazy when the name gets changed. I mean, I remember everyone thought Walter was great, and I was doing a podcast thing called The Hammerlock Hangover, and the title of that episode was "Nobody Knows a Tough Walter," and nobody does know it. Nobody knows anybody that's tough that's named Walter. Walter Mondale? What? I mean, what are we talking about here?
Walter White.
What about Mercado? Mercado.
Well, I don't know who Walter Mercado is.
Yeah.
Walter
God.
was mean, but he also died. But I don't know. Yes, Gunther.
Google
I don't
that.
think
When you get off the air.
Henry.
No. Check out Walter Mercado. Yeah.
When
Google
get around to it,
he's
1 year.
Famous.
Okay. Anyhow, that's. I don't tend to get too excited about the names, but I am excited that Zilla Fatu. I've been hearing a lot about him. Not all of it's great. I think some of the, one of the things people don't like about the Bloodline is that they're mostly all old. But I don't really believe that people don't like the Bloodline. I mean, they're crazy about Solo. They love Jacob when Jacob goes crazy.
I'm big of the Bloodline. I love the Bloodline, but I don't. I'm talking about the hypocritical people that side. They don't like one part, but meanwhile the other part they're loving it. They're on their knees. Give me, drip, drip, drip. You gotta love it all. You gotta love the whole Bloodline. You just can't pick and choose.
I believe it.
No, you don't.
I believe the biggest thing with the Bloodline is a lot of these wrestling fans, they love the wrestling moves today, and all the Samoans have the same move set, and I think that bores them. Like we got Zilla Fatu coming in. He's going to come in and do the pop-up Samoan drop, the Uso splash. You're going to see the same move set. He might throw a spear in there too.
Yeah.
It's just they're all doing the same thing. Like, and other than Solo and Roman, the rest of them aren't that charismatic.
Whose kid is Zilla?
Good point. You're making a good point.
I think that's Umaga's son, right?
Yeah. So
that's Umaga's son.
So is it Jacob's younger brother?
I'm not sure. I think that's his cousin.
Okay. I mean, they're all cousins of some sort.
That's Eddie. No, that's one of the cousins. Yeah, that's one of the cousins.
Okay. So Jacob might be Rikishi's brother's kid.
I think that's right.
I think that's right. Something along the line.
And they're twins, which makes things even harder.
I used to have the Samoan tree on as a overlay, but I removed it.
There's a YouTube channel.
Look out for Rikishi's podcast because he's going to be like, if they change Zilla's name, I was going to raise all hell. You can't piss off Rikishi these days.
I mean, I don't know what you can do to not piss him off. He's always pissed off about something. I mean, it's he loves the Bloodline. There's no question about that. So you can't say everybody hates the Bloodline. Rikishi is his ones are up at all times, sure. I mean, mostly for his sons, but that's all right. I mean,
I would like to hear what Conrad. I would love to hear what Conrad Thompson has to say.
You know it's coming. You know it's coming.
Conrad Thompson has to say, or Rikishi for the matter. I don't listen to any of those corporate podcasts. I listen to the hustlers and the grinders. The people are trying to.
You go. Look at that.
Yeah,
guys trying to roll a 7.
Yeah, trying to roll a 7. So there you go. Anyway, I'm excited about it. I don't mind the name. We can stick a pin in the Cruz Montana thing in 2 months to see, if he's done, and if we're not all, this is the Mariah May, Blake Monroe kind of thing that nobody remembers, her whole name. Listen, Julia keeping her name didn't do her any good. So I think we overstate what is in the name.
Yeah, fair. Because also I talk about Ricky Saints, Ricky Starks, all those different there. Like,
Who? When did I tell you see him on TV?
Yeah, that's the same thing Jeff said.
Ricky ain't been on TV since Night of Champions.
Maybe
he's out there. He's in the back of Cody's bus. I said
they left him in Saudi. He's in Dubai. They left him in Riyadh.
In the Hall of Fame.
Ricky, we need.
He's running scams in Riyadh.
Season, sign. How long do you need me to stay here? All Riyadh season. How long is Riyadh season? Forever.
There is no off season.
Forever.
Just pose. Just do this the whole time. You'll love it.
Absolute Riyadh season.
That's right.
Yeah,
so that's great. Oh, and
all in all, NXT was not really good. The main event was good match. The main event was really good. The main event.
He'll always have overfitting. Get out there.
Yeah, 5 DDTs.
Yeah. It was run the mill show. It was that great. Run the mill.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
I think it was below. I would think it was below mill.
Where's Reign of Volcan?
Where is Reign of Volcan?
Good question. Good question. Pumping iron.
We need to see her.
Yeah, that's what
she made a big impact.
They have too many people. They have too many people there. They have too many extraneous bodies.
Well, usually the NXT releases are coming up soon anyway. Always around September.
You can't have any women that outshine Kendall Gray.
That's the problem. Reign of Volcan looked like she would just bench press Kendall Gray with one hand. That's the problem.
But it's not because Kendall's one of those people who, once she starts wrestling, you forget she's small. Unlike Danny Segalski or Skylar Ray, who always looks small. No, Alexa Bliss always looks small. Like Liv Morgan doesn't look small anymore. Like she's sneaky and conniving. It's like you're fighting. She's like a honey badger, It's like
that's a good one.
Yeah, Kendall Gray sort of. I mean, she's not reckless, but she's sort of like Darby Allin because he wrestles like a cannonball. You have an allowance for him being so tiny and still being able to beat some people. I mean, it's still tough when it's like Brian Cage or when it was Powerhouse Hobbs or Rusev or whatever. But but at least at least he looked like he throws himself around like Ilya Dragunov does.
Question: When are we going to stop giving her grace for bad promos? She is terrible with that mic in her hands.
Yeah, she's not great.
I tell you that. I told my wife she got more. Hoover Vacuum has more charisma than her. Holy shit!
She's got a lot of Jack swagger in her.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Great wrestler, but she's pretty boring. I'm gonna give her to the rest. I'm gonna give her to the end of the year. We'll come back to this. We'll come back.
She might need to be the
her
first
best
Paul
promo.
Heyman
Her best
girl.
promo is eating cake.
I think maybe a Paul Heyman girl might be helpful. I mean, after I just said he's not a guy, but at least when he speaks, everyone plays along with him and they get excited when they see him. And they associate him with winners. So. I think that they're probably moving her up to the main roster fairly soon as well.
Ooh, please don't. Please don't. No, don't do that to her,
Please
Jeff.
don't.
Don't do that.
That's what
Do
you're
that.
force feeding her. You're force feeding her, man.
She gonna be
Slow it
DOA
down
if she
with her.
goes to the main roster. She gonna be DOA. She has no character.
Slow it
Just good
down.
wrestling. Terrible, no character.
Yeah, even I've been worried about Lola Vice right now.
I wouldn't worry about Lola Vice.
Like, Jeff, I got a question for you. Like, other than her in the ring, when have you been entertained by Kendall Gray?
I mean, I like anybody's interactions with Ren. That's because of Ren, but she is with Ren, so so I like it. Yeah, you're right. She's not a good promo. She has a good story, but I've heard it 17 times now, and I know I'm going to have to hear it several more times when she goes to the main roster. But she is good enough in the ring, and like I think at some point, like she reminds me of Daniel Bryan, undersized, very good in the ring, can't talk worth shit, but at some point Daniel Bryan figured out how to speak, and I think it was sort of around his teaming with Team Hell No and Kane and the therapy and all that. So I believe most people in this game eventually find their voice. If they don't use the voice. Find someone else to speak for you. There's Stokely Hathaway is somewhere, right? I mean, does he still work for AEW? I have no idea. I know they have a closet of people who are being paid that nobody sees.
Yeah,
he's in
FTRs and
Guantanamo
negotiations.
Bay. So I don't know how long is his preference. I don't know how long is his penitence. His penance is.
I don't know either. I mean, but they're I mean, Noam Dar should be a manager. He should be speaking. I would love for why is he wasting his time in a tag team on NXT? Let him be an obnoxious spokesperson for the tag team of Nia Jackson, Lash Legend, so that you don't groan when they come out there. He's actually going to say something clever. There's all sorts of things that I'd like to see that aren't going to happen. But all right, I do think they're going to rush Kendall Gray up there, but I don't think it's immediately. I mean, I think that she's probably got another 9 months in NXT. But yeah, there are too many people in the whole PC system writ large, and the WWE main roster bench is too thin. They don't have people who can lose 7 out of 10 matches but win 3 out of 10 matches and make the world interesting. So they need to do more stuff like that. But anyway, as far as NXTs are concerned, I thought this was pretty flat. But again, the end is all anyone's going to remember, and the end was good.
The end was good, and the men's roster got more depth, which is what they want.
Yeah.
All right. So the road to Heatwave, we can't complain to not building the road to Heatwave. It's just I'm not exactly. I think they're using like the contractor who did the reflecting pool. That maybe it's some shoddy workmanship building that road.
Probably, but here's the one good thing about it: we still got another free agent possibility for the men's division.
That's your theory.
Maybe. I still think it is because we heard him. He said the offer. Hey, call me back. That offer's still there, still available if you want it. So it could be one more at the end of the month.
You don't think the run-in at the end was the acceptance of the offer?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I think there is another person, another male that's going to join DAD because you still had. We know from a little inside baseball, we know that Dick Days Off is gonna come to the NXT with your holiday, so we don't know. We know he's gonna join. So
I know that's a rumor. I mean, I don't have any confirmation of it.
It's pretty well kept secret. It's everybody knows he's gonna be there.
Okay, all right.
I've heard something about Enzo going down there.
Enzo's another one. That's another one. If my offer still is set, he's been at the PC several times. Oh, even and I'm still sticking my guns. I think I could see Steve Macklin. I still have an idea. I still have a little bit of a hope that it's going to be Steve Macklin.
And the UFC guy was down there. Was it Michael Chandler?
Michael Chandler. But yeah, he was out there. But so hey, you never know. You never know.
You never know. All right. Well, we will all find out in due course together. Until next week. I guess everybody should say where they can be found and followed. So, Haas, you're the last one in, so you're the first one out. Where can they find and follow you?
Okay, you can find me on X at the Filthy Hoss, and you can also see me on Saturdays when we talk wrestling to Sports Jedi Media. And tomorrow, let me know, Kev, are we doing Dynamite Bros tomorrow?
Probably Thursday.
Thursday. So look out for us on Thursday afternoon, probably around noon or 1 o'clock EST. Check out for the Dynamite Bros. We'll be talking about AEW Dynamite on the road to Lynn. So check us out.
Yeah, because Chris is on vacation. Shout out to Chris on vacation. So I can't stay until Tony Khan decides to go off the air at 11 o'clock. Because, tonight is late, and 2 nights in a row for an old geezer like me, I can't be up that late.
And that works for me. We'll make it work. Thursday's fine.
I feel y'all. So if you want to follow me, you can find me on the X at dose_evil. You can also hear me on Wrestling Soup, where I do the LFG review show for at least 1, if not 2 more weeks with the legendary Lufisto. And then here, you haven't had enough of me yet. Tomorrow night, another Garden of Thought with our special guest, Amber Brooks. Sound familiar? Yes, because she was on the Out of Character podcast right here with Vinny Pacifico and myself. And she is a model, an actress in a bunch of horror movies and things like that. And just a fun person, a lot of good energy. And she's going to regale us with spooky and scary stories. So it's story time with Amber Brooks. And then on Thursday, Jonathan Thor also working on projects and horror movies with one with Vinny Pacifico, who booked the show, who I think is going to be here also. But you never know with Vinny. Sometimes he flies in, sometimes he flies out, sometimes he does a drive-by. You never know. You can never tell. But hopefully you'll be here. But anyway, Jonathan Thor, another person in the movie industry and in some horror, so some crossover there. So the Out of Character, as much entertainment as sports. But then not again until Sunday, my friends, when there's another Garden of Thought.
You're going to keep going on and on. And for Sean Spears, don't forget, use my promo code for Dude Wipes. Dude, save 20 to 59463 and save 20% off. So we want to thank Dude Wipes for sponsoring the show, as well as G Fuel Energy. Go to G Fuel Energy, use PGH Chris for 20% off, and Blackout Coffee. Use the promo code Sports Jedi and save 20%. Guys, have a wonderful night. We'll see you next time here on the Sports Jedi Media. Don't forget, Evolve tomorrow night, and the guys will be breaking that down as well. So see you guys.
It's still real to me, damn it. Thank you.
Take it easy, man.
Thank y'all guys. You're awesome.